Hello, this is Nicole Watkins from Morgan James speaking, and thank you so much for joining us today. I've got the pleasure of speaking with author Ashley Bugge, who is the author of Always Coming Back Home. Thank you so much, Ashley, for taking time to connect with me today and talk to all of our viewers out there.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So excited to sit here and get to chat about this with you.
Absolutely. So to kick things off, what inspired you to write Always Coming Back Home?
Yeah, so Always Coming Back Home is a far-reaching book, honestly. It's a love story. It's a story of hope and tragedy and triumph and adventure. It kind of hits all of the buckets because it's a story that I shared with my husband. The story of us meeting, falling in love, traveling the world together, weathering military deployments as a military family, bringing kids home, learning to scuba dive, learning to sail, and then it leads up to and includes the day that he dies in a scuba diving accident. And after he passed away, I was never considered myself a writer, but after he passed away, I was just so consumed in grief and chaos and tragedy. I needed an outlet, and that outlet soon became writing. It started as a blog on my website, ashleybugge.com, and I just had a ton of encouragement and messages from people around the world wanting to share their own grief with me and share their experiences of losing a family member, a spouse, a partner, and just encouragement to keep writing, just encouragement to get it out and to share these experiences and share these stories. And I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and knowing my husband, would never get to meet our daughter and she would never get to meet her dad, it kind of became this tangible representation of family that I could gift my own children, the love story that their dad and I shared together. So that was kind of the spark, I guess. It was just really needing to get these stories out so I would remember them and capture them as I remembered them at the time, and just share. We had this unconventional life together. We it was adventure and fun, and it's just a really cool story, and I wanted to share it with everybody.
Well, your willingness to share such a personal piece of your life story is really inspiring. I think there's going to be a lot of people that resonate just with the wholesomeness of the message and everything that you have detailed in Always Coming Back Home. And so this really leads me into my second question for you, Ashley, and that's, what will readers take away from the message in the book?
Yeah, so everyone that's kind of followed my journey these past few years, when they tell me they're going to order the book or they're reading the book, they're like, I got my tissues ready. I know this is going to be a sad story. I'm so nervous, because they know how it ends. But really, I try to not pitch it as a sad story. It's really a happy story. It's a book of adventure and of love and of family and of a military family at that. And it's a book of joy and laughter and funny stories that has a sad ending. And so I really hope what people take away from it is that this great love exists. Family and kids and jobs, you can have all of that and you can still travel the world. You can still go on grand adventures as a family. You can still sail the ocean. You can still scuba dive in places around the world. You can still live just this grand exotic life, even with having roots in places. And so my hope is to encourage and inspire other people to kind of get out there and just live this really beautiful life with your loved ones, regardless of what your family structure looks like.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that, Ashley. So what's next for you as an author, a mom, and an adventurer?
Yeah, I'm busy. I stay very busy here. I am, a military widow with 3 young kids. My kids are now 2, 4, and 6. So next as a mom, honestly, is probably dinner and online school tomorrow. During these times of COVID, we've had to restructure how we do things here. But I help my kids author a book. It's called A Hooey Ho Until We Meet Again. and it's a book written by kids for kids dealing with the loss of a parent. And in it, we talk about the sights, sounds, feelings, emotions of kids going through their own journey of grief. So that'll be out in October. That's kind of what's next for them and for us as a family. I've just wrapped up writing my second book, which starts the day my husband passes away and goes through the next year of my life, getting back into scuba diving, getting back into traveling with the kids. We spent 2 months traveling through 8 countries of Europe this past summer, last summer, and I write about that and just building our confidence back up and finding ways to come together as a family after suffering a loss like we did. And as an explorer or an adventurer, I'm feeling a little at loss right now. All of my flights and travel plans have been canceled this year, but I've got some exciting stuff on the horizon. Joined up with a team of adventurers, women leaders, and I'm headed out on an expedition next November to Norway for 2 weeks to dive with orcas and study depleting sea ice in the area and get to be part of a leadership team that delivers that information to the locals. So I'm really excited about that. That's the next expedition. And I've also started a podcast called No Bucket List Podcast. I know, I told you I stay busy here. It's called No Bucket List Podcast, and I interview explorers and adventurers from around the world, talking about what they're doing, how they're leading the charge, how they've thrown away their bucket list and instead of set goals and are working towards meeting those goals of expedition and adventure and travel. And it's just this idea of bridging the gap between people who look in the magazines and watch the movies and think, wow, it'd be so cool to do that. And then the people who are actually out there doing it, and bringing those two things together to talk about how people can go out and make that their lives if they want to.
Awesome. Well, Ashley, you are such an inspiration just with everything that you're doing from, mom perspective, from an adventurer, from an author. You've got a lot of things you're juggling right now. And I think that's so what is going to really resonate with our viewers, with your readers, that no matter where you find yourself in life, whether it's, the loss of a loved one or just going through a rough patch or tough space in our life, that there are things that we can look to. There are ways to ultimately get to a place where life continues and you can really pull the good fruits that we've been offered. Just depending on the way that you really approach it and the way that you look at it. So I know definitely for some of our viewers today, they're going to be very eager to stay connected with you. So where would be the best place for our viewers and readers to further connect, to learn about what all you have going on, and, to stay connected with you?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words too. The best way to get a hold of me is through my website, ashleybugge.com. It's ASHLEYBUGGE.com. And on there you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. I love connecting with people and sharing stories and talking about how my family and I are working our way towards this, and resiliency, and the mindset that regardless of the circumstances, you can find ways through it. You just have to have a positive outlook and embrace what's going on around you and find your way through it.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much again, Ashley, for joining me today. I know I speak for everyone here at Morgan James Publishing of how proud we are to be on this journey with you. And for those of you watching, please remember that you can purchase Ashley's book wherever books are sold. Thank you again for sharing your life story and really helping motivate and remind the rest of us that there is that next step in life and there is a way to stay resilient no matter what's going on in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you.